Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Howdy, folks. I'm Bob Shrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we're the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today we're going to show you how to walk with hip pain using a cane or a walker. And of course, we got the front wheel walker here and we got the four-wheel walker here. We'll talk about that. We suggest using a walking aid when the following conditions exist.
Okay.
Any one of the three or all three together. One, if you're a high risk for falling because your hips are painful or weak.
You just feel wobbly, and you know that you've got to get something to help out.
Yeah, and I should say with all these, Brad, it's not necessarily a permanent condition.
Right.
You know, when the hip pain calms down or when you get the hip stronger, you can maybe move away again from these devices.
Right.
So, number two, if you experience a significant increase in hip pain when walking, you should use a gait aid because it can calm things down. If you're just firing that hip up every time you walk, it's not going to calm down.
Right, you're just irritated, back and forth. And typically, this hip pain we're referring to is a lot of times from arthritic problem. And
right.
You're probably aware of that.
And arthritis can calm down without a doubt.
Yep.
So, if you're walking also with a significant limp or tend to kind of waddle, I know a lot of people that are like that and they won't use a cane, because of pride. But the fact is you are drawing way more attention to yourself with the waddle. And, it'd be a lot better if you were walking straight and you're throwing off the whole chain of events here. I mean, you're throwing off the muscles, you're throwing off you can put more stress on the bursa.
Right.
You can be putting more stress on the hip by walking poorly.
You get knee pain as a result. You can get back pain as a result of that irregular gait.
So if you use the walker cane, again, we're looking for three things hopefully to happen. One, the hip pain can calm down, the inflammation, the swelling can go down, especially if it's arthritis, as we said. You should begin a stretching program. And we'll mention these at the end again. Bob and Brad's stretching video. It's based on the McKenzie approach.
Right. Specifically for the hip.
Yep. And a lot of times your hips are tight, which can cause pain. You also want to begin the strengthening program. So that one's called How to Strengthen the Painful Hip.
Right.
When you combine those three things, the cane or the walker and stretching and strengthening, a lot of times you're going to move away from the gait aid eventually.
Exactly.
All right, so Brad's going to demonstrate how to use a cane here. And first of all, how do you
adjust the height?
Adjust the height, yeah.
Height. I was corrected on the other video on that. I said height.
My wife does it the same way, height. And we've had arguments about this, and finally I found it and proved her wrong, and then now she tries to correct it.
So to get the right height for this cane, just stand up tall with good posture. Lift your arm if I'm going to use it in my right hand. Your arm there with good posture, just hang normally. And the handle of the cane should line up with the crease of the wrist. So this is not tall enough for me. It lines up with my fingers right about at the knuckle. So, figure out how to adjust your cane and adjust it high enough so that it's right there. So that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're off a quarter inch, a half inch, it's not a big deal.
Then it gets down to comfort, what you feel comfortable with. So 1 inch one way might depend on comfort.
Yep. Use your judgment. If the pain is in the left hip, you're going to use it in the right hand. So when you walk, the left leg goes forward, the cane goes forward, and it's just sequence out. Typically, both Bob and I do this with patients. We give them a cane, and we just have them walk. And typically, most people naturally have the right sequence.
Yeah. And if we tell them to move the cane forward with the leg, then they screw up.
Yeah, because you're thinking about it, and it's like...
Just start using the cane.
Yeah, just use it. Things fall into place. Just make sure you have the cane to the opposite side of the painful hip, and things will fall right into place. Anything else on that, Bob?
No, I think that's good. When you're using a walker, we often like to use one with maybe wheels on the front, maybe tennis balls in the back, just because you don't have to lift it up then.
Right.
If you have to lift it up with every walk, with every step, you're having to rely on your balance. and you could actually fall.
And it's just awkward. So yeah, because there's walkers, if you're not familiar, that they have this on all four wheels.
Right.
There are some occasions where that's advantage, but mostly not.
Yeah, and the four-wheel walker is even better, but it's not as stable.
Right.
You know, so it's not going to be as stable as this is. So if you have fairly good balance, you could use the four-wheel walker. And obviously, what's nice about them is they have a built-in seat too.
Yeah,
so
you can sit down.
You can sit down. Yeah.
If you're wondering about the tennis ball thing, the only reason you need a tennis ball is if it's inside on a smooth floor. It keeps from scratching your floor up. You don't want to use these outside because they wear off real quickly, particularly on concrete.
Yeah.
So
They wear out pretty quick inside too.
Yeah, yeah. But they do protect the floor, and it's quiet. Sometimes
Well, when they get those
squeak.
plastic gliders,
Yeah.
they get scratched right away, and sometimes they can scratch your floor.
Yeah, we should do. We've done videos on that a long time ago. Maybe we should do an update.
Yeah, we took a chair. What's the protector on the bottom of a chair? We were using those for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah, the little felt pad.
Yeah, felt pad,
with
yeah.
the adhesive. As far as height on this, it's the same on both of these as the cane. Stand up tall. You go like that, and the crease should land right there, just like that. Again, you can be off a little bit.
Usually that means the elbows are going to be slightly bent.
Yep, like there.
Yep.
It's really bad if it's low and you
Right.
end up like this. If it's a little high, you know, that's not such a big
It might
deal.
encourage you to stand up taller.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And you bend your elbows. And that's the same with both of these. Again, the four-wheel walkers, I like using them for people, especially if they're walking outside, but inside as well if they got enough room. But you have to know how to use the brakes so you can sit down and take a rest, which is a big advantage.
And I would recommend, if you're getting a four-wheel walker, and even a two-wheel walker, you get as big wheels as you can get.
Yes.
Because
Particularly if you're going to go outside.
Yes.
The bigger the better on you know, uneven surfaces.
yeah, these just don't work that well. These aren't too bad. There's even smaller ones that just don't work that well
That's
on
right.
outdoors. So give it a try. Be safe. No
Yes.
falls. By the way, this video is a part of a series of videos on hip pain. So if you want to see the series, go to bobandbrad.com, go to the program section, and look for hip pain. We've got like 30 videos there. You can check them out. Watch only the ones that pertain to you.
Right. So look at the titles. If it sounds like something you can watch, they're usually about 10 minutes long, plus or minus a little bit. And then the big benefit's got a PDF printout, so you can hit the button. It'll go to your printer, get a piece of paper, have a review of the video, all the exercises we went over, and really saves you some time. We do not ask anything, no emails, no nothing like that. It's all free for you.
Yep. Enjoy.
There you go.
Thank you.